Well, hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to my survival guide Let's Play on the 1.16.5 version of Minecraft. And we're starting off today in a cave, but if you look behind me, you see cobblestone, you see a chest, you see a spawner. That's right, it is a Skelly spawner, and we are going to make a Skelly spawner grinder today, so stay tuned. Okay, so first up, we got to go ahead and clear this room. We're going to make the spawner, and then we're going to make the kill room. We're going to have a cool little kind of a pixel art skeleton face on there. So it's going to be pretty fun. Okay, so first things first, we've got to go ahead and let me put the right pickaxe in my hand here. We got to clear this out. So, all right, chest moved. All right, so for those of you who have built lots of these, you know the drill. And for those following along to see how this is done, it's pretty simple, and I'll try to explain it clearly so that it'd be easy for you to do it on your own. Okay, so first things first, we need a 9x9 room. So if that's the center block, then we got to go out 4 blocks in each direction and just clear these out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have a 9x9 room. So it's 4 blocks out from the spawner in every direction. The height of the roof that was already here is just fine. You really only need 2 or 3 above it. I think we have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 3, so that's just fine. Even though I'm going to completely close off this room, so we're not going to see it at all. I went ahead and replaced all the odd, there was some dirt in the wall, some cobblestone and stuff. I really started with regular stone, and I don't know, just in case I ever do a glass wall in here instead, because when 1.17 comes out, they're going to have tinted glass, and that you can see through, but it doesn't let any light through, so it's going to be great for spawners and such. Okay, so now we've got the surround is great, the height is great. Now we got to do the floor. We got to dig down. You should dig down at least 4 blocks. I'm going to dig down 5 just because I like to have the heads of the zombie or the skellies when they're bouncing up and down in the water a little bit, still clear the radius of the spawn zone of this, and maybe it doesn't help at all. Maybe it's just my wishful thinking, but I like to improve my spawn rates any way possible. So I'm going to dig down 5 blocks in this whole side. So let's go ahead and get that done. And you got to keep enough light in the room, otherwise that happens. So we got a skeleton spawning in here on us. So let's see, we must need a couple more torches. So let's go ahead and, oh yeah, we got a dark corner over here. That's what it is. All right, that should take care of it. Okie dokie. All right, so we have a 9x9 room, and then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it's 9 blocks high as well. So we have a 9x9x9, except for my little temporary staircase here, so I can get in and out of here. All right, next thing I'm going to do, because I always forget to do this, is I'm going to go ahead and put a slab on top of this spawner right now. Otherwise, I almost always forget, and then I have to struggle to do it later. And the reason you want to do that is it's the bottom half of a block, so a skeleton can't spawn on top of the spawner. Should a skeleton spawn on top of the spawner, they can only spawn a max of 4 at a time, so you'll be cutting down on your spawn rates. So this is a way to keep them from stacking up. Some people just put full blocks all the way to the ceiling on top. That would work just fine as well. Now you got to decide which side you want to be, the front and the back and such. So the front is what I would consider where the kill room is, and I'm going to have that on this side because this is where I was tunneling from, and I built one of my big 3x3 corridors here so that if we happen to go through a slime chunk, we'll get slimes as well. So I'm going to make the kill room right over on this side. So that means the water is going to be against that back wall there, and what we want to do is we want to place a block of water on every block across this back. Once you get the first 2, it's pretty easy. So you do your first one, then you skip a block and you do another one. That creates an infinite water source. Now you can just continuously pick up and place. All right, and then you'll notice, except for it's being blocked by my staircase, you'll notice it goes all the way except for the last block. So that's perfect. So now what we want to do, I want to go ahead and mine out this last row. Okay, now what's going to happen is we're going to place another water block here. Let's go grab some water. We'll place a block here. So what'll happen is skeletons will spawn, they'll fall in the water. Water will push them to this trench. This water block here will push them that way. This one won't quite make it all the way, so we're gonna have to do a drop down. So we'll go about halfway. So we'll do 5 blocks, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll drop it down 1. That'll keep the stream going for another 8 blocks from here, and that's farther than we need. Now I'm gonna do a 3 high. All right, so this is where our soul sand is gonna go. I brought some ice with me. I'm gonna put ice on those 2 blocks, and I'm not really 100% sure if it, how much, if at all, it helps. And I'll tell you the theory. So the theory is what happens is we're going to have to place some wood signs as well to stop the water from the tower from spilling out into the room. Here, it's easy if I'm over here when I'm over to explain this to you. All right, so we got water coming this way, and we're going to have a water tunnel, water elevator going up. So I'm going to have to place a couple signs down. Okay, those will go right here. Okay, there you go. So what's going to happen is the water flow that's pushing them this way is going to stop on that block because of these signs, and those signs have to be there because they have to stop the water that's going up the elevator from spilling out this way into the room and keeping the skeletons from being pushed that way. So there is still water on this block. So the theory is the skeletons have some momentum and they hit that ice block and they continue to slide. And so if they had a decent enough momentum, possibly they might slide right onto there. If not, the next skeleton that comes down pushes them in there anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so now I need a stack of dirt. Okay, so we have to get the, to figure out how high we want to make the elevator, we want the skeletons to fall. I'm going to make it the same height as this floor right here. And there's a couple reasons for that. The biggest reason is if you look at how high this one is, we're at level 49 here. We're almost at the surface. So we got to raise them up. We want them to fall about 22 blocks. If I had the kill room up higher so that it was more even with the spawner, it would have to be the fall is from however high it is to wherever the floor in there is. So we want the floor in there to be as low as possible. So I'll probably mine all this out as well. And so that's why we only have to go 22 blocks from this level right here. So 49 and 22, what is that, 71? Yeah, so 71, we got to go up to 71. And so what we're going to do is we're going to mine up to level 71, and then we're going to scooch ourselves over 3 or 4 blocks, and then we're going to come down. I'm going to do a little prep work on the other side before we do that, so I'll be right back as soon as that's done. Okay, so what I did was I went ahead and I dug out this side of the kill room. I'll probably make it go back that way a little bit farther, but for right now, that's good. And this is where the zombies are going to, or the skeletons are going to fall. So they're going to go in here. So you've got this wall here, and then they go one beyond that. So it's the second block in. So there's only one block of wall between the tunnel and them. So they're going to go up to level 71. They're going to go over 3 and then fall down on the 4th, and that's going to be right here. So they're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to come down and make sure I got this right. Okay, so it's going to be 1 farther back. All right, so not a problem. We'll just fill that in. Okay, and I'm putting this water here for now because I'm going to test this elevator a couple of times, and eventually I'll be following the 22 blocks, and I don't want to fall to my death, so I'm going to put water in there for now. We'll remove it. So we don't need this layer of blocks here. That's a good example of why it's always good to double check your work. Okay, yeah, so this is even with that wall all the way. So we're going to go 1 block beyond this wall. They're going to go up, over, and down, which means the tunnel that I dig is going to fall right here, and they'll land right here. Now I'm going to fill that in, obviously. I'm going to put a block here and then a slab. So actually we need to go up 1 more because we need to dig our tunnel 1 higher to accommodate for that. So we're on 49, but it's actually going to be 50, block 50 where they hit. So we're going to need to go up to block 72. 72 is what we're going to go up to. All right, now because we're so close to the surface, and that means that there's very little chance that there's going to be lava, I'm just going to go ahead and do this a quick way, and I'm going to go ahead and risk it and just dig straight up. Okay, so, and then I'm just going to place dirt blocks, and I have like a little method that I do this way, and it goes something like this. And that puts us outside. Okay, so I was wondering if that was going to happen. Because 72, yeah, that's going to be a little ways up. Okay, so we're going to run into some mobs here. We're going to go ahead and we're not far from the village, as you'll see. We're going to run over there and sleep right quick. Okay, so here we are, and back where we were, and 133, 133, 263. That's where we need to dig down to hit the right spot. There you go. We fell right into the water. Okay, so that's right exactly where the skellies are going to fall. All right, so we're going to break a little bit more of this wall out to accommodate them, to make it easy to kill, but for now this is fine. Now we got to get our bubble elevator going, so let's just go ahead. We'll go from the top. Given what happened here, it'll be easier just to dig straight down, and that's going to be 129, 263. All right, that's 129, 263, so this should get us right down to our piece of soul sand. Okay, and there it is. All right, now we're going to have to go up there and rig up a little thing to make it so that the skellies still stay where they're supposed to stay and don't get exposed to the sun, because that would damage them. And if they take some sun damage and then do 22 blocks, they could die, and we don't want them to die on their own. We want them to die when we hit them, so we get the XP for it. Okay, so here we are. Here's our two little tunnels here, one coming up, one coming down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to frame this in with some stone. We're at 63, so we got 63. We got to go up 9 more blocks, so a little ways to go. That's what happens sometimes when the spawners are too close to the surface. So I'm just going to make the ground the same height. All right, 65. Got to go up 7 blocks. Now we're just going to do what we have to make this functional for right now, but we will do something to make this look cool later. I don't know if we'll build like an old graveyard around here, which would be a reason there'd be skeletons around, or something like that. We'll figure something out, but for now I just want this to get this thing functional. Okay, 72. So this is how high they have to come. So now I have to enclose this little channel. So I'm going to go make them a little 3-high channel here. And that way they're not exposed to any danger whatsoever. I know, seems kind of funny of a concept. We need to worry about protecting the skeletons. You're kidding me, we're 1 piece of stone short. Okay, we can find one somewhere right quick. Actually, what we'll do, we'll steal one from the corner. We'll replace that one later. And now we'll have enough to... Oh, there was one down there anyway. Put that back. Okay, so now if we look down here, so that's the side with the soul sand. So with the bubble elevator, is going to push him up here. It's going to push him over, and it's going to drop him right down there. Now we're going to want to put a sign right there, maybe. Let's see if that does the trick. So we got to stop the water. So the water's going to flow down. Yeah, and it'll stop right there. And that right there is why I put the water there. Otherwise, right there. Otherwise, we probably would have died right there. Okay, so now we got water here, but there's not a flow pushing it up because they're not all source blocks. So to make them source blocks, let's go ahead and get more water in our buckets here. Go ahead and place that one here. So now we've got water pushing this way, and it goes all the way here. And it'll push them just about into there. The next skeleton that comes down will push the rest of them in there. Okay, so now, in order to turn these into source blocks so that the soul sand turns that into a bubble elevator, we need to put kelp there. All right, so if you don't have, you can, now I happen to have Respiration 3 on my helmet. You can still do this without Respiration 3, you just got to be efficient. As soon as you go in here, you start placing the kelp, and you hold down your space bar, and you'll swim right to the top, and you won't even need Respiration 3. You'll be able to get up there quick enough. Okay, there you go. So now, as soon as we get on there and break that kelp, let's jump down again. Okay, we'll go down here, we'll break the kelp. And now the soul sand is going to turn that into an elevator in just a second. And there we go. So this is the path that the Skelly is going to take. Okay, so we need a little stronger of a... Sometimes what happens is you need to put a block right there. Well, that's why I like to take the ride. I want to make sure there's no spot where they're going to get hung up on. Now, the way to test this is just push yourself into the stream and then let go of all your controls and just see where the water pushes you. There you go. So that's what's going to happen to the skeletons. All right. So now all that works just fine. Let me see. We don't need that torch up there anymore. Let me get rid of the torch. Really wouldn't hurt anything because it's not bringing enough light down there. It's not shining enough light down into the spawner room, but there's just no need for it to be there. It can stay dark. Okay, now we're almost ready to turn this thing on. The other thing I like to do, because sometimes I'll AFK for a while, there you go, and I'm going to put a slab on top of that because later what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that block out and put a hopper there, and then it'll automatically collect the drops. So one of the things I like to do is I like to AFK a lot. So what I'll do is break out a little extra room here. Let's see. There you go. So what I'm doing now is I'm just expanding this room and taking advantage of the entity cramming rules, right? Because if I have AFK here for too long, what'll happen is if they're just stuck in one block, only 24 skeletons will be able to accrue there, and then they'll start dying because of entity cramming. Also, they'll start to they have very little health left, so when other skeletons fall on their heads, it could kill one or both of those skeletons. So I like to make this a little wider. It's still a very manageable kill chamber there to deal with, but now you have, let's see, 72. You can have 72 skeletons in here. So if you AFK for a half hour or so, you'll have a whole bunch of skeletons in here. And we'll make this look a little bit better. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to build this wall right here. And let's see, we've got about 9 blocks. So I want to do a little pixel art here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a border around it. Now, just incidentally, in case you're new to these spawners, the only thing left to do to make that thing start spawning skeletons is to remove all these torches. But we don't want to remove them yet because we don't have the room enclosed and they'll start shooting at us, and that would be unpleasant. Okay, so what I want to do, I think what I've left here is an 8x8 opening. I want to enclose this and make it a big pixel art version of a skeleton skull. I've got some different blocks here, a variety of blocks. And let me just rearrange my inventory real quick. Okay, so I've rearranged my inventory a little bit to make this little design. I was just thinking scaffolding would have come in nice and handy. Okay, so you got basically kind of in the pixel art for a skeleton, you got some really dark gray or maybe even black, and I think I'm going to use the black stone for that. That's for his mouth, and then his eyes are black, although I'm going to add a red pupil, and then his nose is like a dark gray. So we need to vary up the bottom row here with some different versions of the gray, because we don't want it to look too perfect. We want this to be slightly randomized. Okay, now the middle 6 are black for his mouth. Okay, now the center 2 are kind of a gray for his nose. And you know what? I think his chin, I think we want to get some light colors in there as well, so let's try this again. Yeah, so we want to vary between these bone blocks, some diorite, and then I'm using quartz. There you go. So now we got kind of a whitish gray. Now we've got his mouth, his nose, and then all right, and then his eyes are right here. So I'm going to do red pupils here. And then again, the same thing right here, because I'll be over here at the kill room, so it's almost like he's kind of looking to the left in that direction. And then the rest of this is just all block variants of the different likeness. I think I have too much diorite in there, so I'll probably pull some of that out. But we just got to get something going here, so that's what we're going to do. I think for the nose, I'm going to be something a little more obviously gray. Let's try the basalt. Yeah, I like that better for the nose. It's more of a differentiator. All right, let's get these couple blocks filled in here. All right, I'm going to replace these diorites. I don't really like the way the diorite looks in here. All right, I think that looks pretty cool. I like that skeleton face. Okay, cool. Now, the only thing I forgot to do is leave my stuff away to get in here so we can finish this off. So we'll break a couple of these out real quick. All right, now we got to get in there, and all we got to do is take the torches out. And Skellies, let's take one more look here. Yeah, they're going to fall down. They won't be able to get to us, but we'll be able to get to them. Later on, I'll put some hoppers. Later on, I'll put some hoppers and some chests down here, and so to do the auto collection, but for now, we'll just go ahead and let it go into our inventory. All right, so let's rig up a little way here to get in there, make it a little higher, and start taking these torches out. All right, so the way I usually do this, to make it pretty safe, I just build a little walkway across, and I go to the far side of the room, and then I start taking torches out. Just take them out as I head back, and that way, that seems to be pretty safe. Can we reach that one? Yeah, okay, good. All right. Now, can we reach that front one? Good, there you go. All right. So they're going to start spawning in not too long. So all these blocks that fall into the water, they'll just go through the elevator and they'll end up over where the... Whoa, yeah, see, that sometimes happens. So, yeah, see, he's fighting the current. So let's go ahead. We'll run out of here. I may have to get my bow back in the inventory so I can take some of these guys out if they're spawning in. Well, darn, I didn't want that to happen. All right, let's see if we can get some more of this done. Gonna recover a little bit here. Look at that, it looked like a pin cushion. I have pretty good armor though, so I'm not really all that worried about it. I just don't want to get knocked into the pit again. All right, fella. All right, they can fight that stream pretty good, as you can see. I'm gonna do that just so I don't fall in there in case another one spawns right away. Yeah, okay. So we're up. How'd you get up there? Well, he's about ready to come in here. Oh, he did come in here. Alright, well, we need to get rid of that real quick. Yeah, he spawned high enough, he fell right on that thing. Alright, I think we got it all. Looks like there might be is there a torch in there still? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's all good. I'll go up real high and take a look down and just make sure there's nothing still lit. We can have this room lit just fine because we have it completely closed off. We got our skeleton face here. And are they dying all on their own? I may have to raise this up one if that's the case. Yeah, some of them are dying all on their own. What I'll do is I'll raise this up. Yeah, they're dying on their own. So I'll raise this up one. Not a problem. There you go. All right, so now we'll just have to raise the floor of this room up one. Oh, no. Well, that's going to mess with my skeleton face. All right, I tell you what, given the way this worked out, I wasn't going to do it this episode, but I'll go ahead and get a collection system in there so we don't have to get real close to those guys and risk getting hit. So let me go ahead and grab some supplies. I'll be right back, and we'll take care of that. I'm going to have to raise this face up one, I think. All right, so I went over and I grabbed some hoppers and stuff to build a collection system. I went ahead and I moved the face up one block and then raised the floor where it needs to be. All right, so I dug a little pit, put a double chest in there. Got the hoppers going in there, and then this one here. Okay, so now we can still open that chest. Alright, that's a little kill chamber. I could put some upside down stairs here instead. That'd be a little risky right now because of these guys being down here. Let's take a swipe at these guys. And yeah, we got stuff flowing into the chest, so everything is working well. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to test, so the drops, mainly are, there's a couple things. I mean, you get some bows, if you put these bows together, you can actually build some pretty good free bows. It costs you a little experience on the anvil, but you can build some pretty good bows maybe some gold armor for taking into nether. But, you know, mostly what we're after is we're after the bones so we can make bone meal and tame dogs and stuff like that, and the experience as well. Now, I think my blaze farm is probably a better experience grinder, but you don't, you know, earlier on, you don't necessarily always have something like a blaze, you know, a blaze grinder. So this is a great XP farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill these guys and then set a 15-minute timer, and then I'll come back after 15 minutes and we'll see how many levels it gets me from level 24, almost level 25. So let me kill these guys. Okay, so now we are at 25 and a half. We're going to go 15 minutes and we'll be right back. All right, I'm jumping back in here. It's only been 7 minutes. I did a little bit more digging out. But the reason I'm jumping back in is these guys are like fighting and killing each other. So I don't know how good this one's going to be for AFKing for a long period of time, because, I mean, you'll get the drops, but you won't get the XP if they're killing each other, because it looks like I don't hear them shooting each other, but as it starts to get more compacted, then they start dying on their own. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and, as you can see, we've accumulated quite a bit more stuff since there they are dying on their own. So it seems like when you get to a certain point, they just start dying off. So maybe 5 minutes is your AFK time, and then you got to kill them. So let's see, we're just over level 25 and a half. So let's see what we get on this. All right, so that's about three and a quarter levels for about 5 minutes. Now, being that I was already at 25, and you know, the higher level you're at, the more XP it takes to get to the next level. That's not too shabby, and you know, we're getting lots of good drops. We're going to have all the bone meal our heart's desire. I don't know, I think this is a pretty worthwhile project, and I mean, even if you were late game, this is probably the best way to get a ton of bone meal and a ton of bones. So I think this was fun. I'm going to do a little more decorating in this room, make it look a little bit better, but for now... All right, future me cutting in for just for a minute. I didn't want to leave the kill chamber completely unfinished. So when I originally had recorded the episode, I said at the very end, I said I would do a little work on it and show it later. But I didn't want to make you have to search outside the episode, so I went ahead and did a little work on it. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first of all, we have the for those of you who remember Get Smart, we have the Get Smart doors. And that brings us into our chamber. So now we have a nice looking chamber here. We have a step down. We have a lot of the bone blocks and then quartz stairs here. Kind of looks like his spine and rib cage and his legs coming up towards us. A few lanterns in here, and I think the room looks pretty good. I think the color scheme's pretty good for what it is. And I'll tell you what, look at my level 40 here. So I haven't even been that diligent. A lot of them have been dying on their own, but as I've been building, they start to fill in and get very noisy, so they get annoying. So I go ahead and kill them, and the double chest is almost full also. So this thing is actually a better XP generator than I had originally thought, because you weren't, you know, it wasn't going to really be one you could AFK too much, but turns out you don't really need to AFK. If you AFK for like 5 minutes, you're going to get a nice bump in XP, and of course we're getting tons of bone meal. And I think our skeleton looks pretty cool, and yeah, the lanterns here, soul lanterns. That blue light looks pretty cool on there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut back to the original ending, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now. I think that's going to do it. And I sure hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I sure had fun doing it. And, you know, a like would be greatly appreciated on the video, and please consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me out immensely, and it allows me to keep making videos like this, and we'll be covering new ground in the near future as well. Alrighty, well, until next time, bye-bye.